the Scottish borders to visit the garden that inspired this magnificent new book all about the changing of the seasons. I'm here in the Scottish borders between Jedburgh and Hawick to visit Laura Blackwood, who, as well as being a passionate gardener, is also a professional illustrator and artist. And she's just finished producing this exquisite book that she's painted and written called A Celebration of Nature Through the Seasons. So Laura, what inspired you to create this book then?
Well, I first realised how lucky I am to live in this beautiful part of Scotland in the borders, which is full of a great variety of trees, birds, flowers, insects. And I wanted to draw attention and emphasise why it's important to really value what we have here. And also to make the point that in nature everything is connected. There's an interconnectedness with everything, and we are part of that. And therefore, this is another reason why it's so important to value what we have.
So obviously the seasons are quite important to you then, aren't they?
Well, yes, I think the seasons have become far less obvious in our daily lives in terms of what we eat and so on. And I think that we can learn a lot from the seasonal cycles, because everything has a cycle, and if we lose sight of that, this is something which governs a lot of our lives.
Do all these flowers come from your garden that you've painted?
Well, mostly they are in this garden, but also from the surrounding area.
Right.
And I would obviously have to wait till these flowers are in season to be able to paint them from life, because each flower is different, even though they may on the face of it all seem the same. Each one is an individual, so I would collect the specimen and paint it.
And how do you feel when you're actually sitting there painting?
You could almost describe it as a meditative state. You become completely absorbed in what in the specimens or the birds or whatever. It's a fantastically rich experience.
Now, it's taken you well over 5 years to create this book, I know. What kind of materials did you use for the originals?
Well, the paper, I was lucky to get a batch of it from my family, who made handmade watercolour paper. It's Whatman paper. This paper I saw from the watercolour mark was made in 1911 and 1912.
Gosh.
And this type of paper was used by people like Turner and Cotman, who painted on it. The paints that I used, this was my father's travelling watercolour box.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And the whole book came from this one.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with something so small and so compact, and to create this wonderful book with all these pictures in it. Really are lovely. So Laura, a big chunk of your garden is on a very steep slope. Do you find that a challenge?
Not really, because the effect of the terracing enhances the light effects with the plants on each one, being lit from the morning from below and in the afternoon from above. So it creates quite a dramatic effect.
And what about mowing? Because you've got quite a lot of grass as well.
Well, that's hard work.
The other thing I like about your garden is the fact that you've got mown areas, but there's lots of wilder areas, and you've mown through, so there's always a little vista that makes you want to walk around a corner or through into the woods. It's a good way of doing it.
Well, I think it's a fantastic thing that one can do to create a sense of mystery, that one might want to follow that path to find out what's hidden around the corner.
The element of surprise.
That's right, and hopefully there's a nice view, a seat to sit and enjoy it at the end of it.
And it must mean that you've got a lot of wildlife that comes into your garden.
We do. We have a tremendous variety of birds, including migrating birds, and a woodpecker. We have otters in the river and deer, badgers. But perhaps best of all is we have red squirrels here. And this is a great privilege to have them. We nearly lost them but to the grey squirrels, which carry a virus. However, a lot of work has been done and the population has increased of the red squirrels, and we now have several that come to the bird table.
It's such a joy to have them in your garden.
It's a great privilege.
So listen, thank you very much for showing us around your garden. It's absolutely beautiful and it's been a real privilege to be here.